Hello. Is this working? It's working. It's working. Let's go. Okay, so I have several things on my list of D&D stuff to concoct. The first of which is, so last session my players faced off with a night hag, I think they're called, and one of their abilities I decided to tweak. They can like give you nightmares, and so I decided to tweak and just give it to all of my players after the fight ended. So she just like grins and then she faded away like they had defeated her. So they're all going to have nightmares tonight. So we're going to be doing a little bit of crafting around that, which I think will be fun. And then if I feel up to it, let me check my list. If I feel like doing so, I am going to do story planning for one of the characters, Cass, who is the werewolf. So he is, he basically didn't like his class a couple of times. We changed it around, and I think we finally found one that will probably work for him. And that is, I believe, some kind of barbarian class. I can't actually, let's see if I have it. Let's see, PC stuff. Fighter Rune Knight is not it. Oh man. Let me see if it's in our Discord chats. Okay. Barbarian Storm Herald is what he is rocking and rolling with. Which I think is gonna be a lot of fun for him. Here, I'll give you a little look-see. A little look-see, just a tiny one. Changed? Yeah. Alright, so basically, we decided that, so Cass has basically been omega traumatized for the entire campaign. He's had a couple of freakouts. He is a little bit of an alcoholic, just a tad, and he has a lot of stuff going on that front. And so we thought, with him traveling from Freya to Dakal, which there's an ocean between them, it would be kind of fun to have like a storm motif to it. So we're doing Storm Aura. I don't know which ones he ended up choosing. Let me actually message him. Hold. I think yeah, I did leave it on the screen. Okay. Let's see. Let me message Oliver. What parts of the, can't type, the Storm Herald did you end up choosing? Yeah, because he gets one, yeah, he gets Desert Sea or Tundra, he gets the Storm Soul, and then all the Barbarian stuff on top of that. I think they're past 10th level, so he gets Shielding Storm as well. So I'm gonna have a fun little time giving him not just a little trauma, just a tad, just a taste. And then on top of that, we're gonna traumatize them again for funsies with the hag and her nightmares. So let's take a look at that. What we are going to be looking at are backstories, which is going to be fun, I think. So for Ayla, let's start with Ayla. Ayla, who is our cleric. She is a drow. She is a cleric of Elistrai, who is a not part of the main pantheon. She's like a, in my world, she is a basically during the Battle of the Cosmos, the War of the Cosmos, she was gravely injured, had to go into hiding in order to escape from Lolth, who I believe is her mother. And so on the Ayla front, in terms of nightmare, I do think that I want to do something with her. So she had an adventuring group that basically has disappeared or is dead at this point, but her brother is alive. So she keeps trying to get into contact with him and keeps trying to like connect with him. And I would love if we did Rian as the focal point of her nightmare, which will be fun. Also, I'm just coming off of being sick, so ignore my voice. Let's see. Lisbilda is a bit of a harder one to do. So the backstory of Lisbilda is not definable. We've done a little bit of story crafting for her. So what we ended up doing, let's go to Asgard's fantasy map generator. Surely it'll just load. This version compatible with species. Reload site. Okay. Bars. Machine. Me and my friend are doing a tier list of miraculous costumes, and it's awesome. Varia, Maps, Midlands. Terrible show. I love it. So if I remember correctly, her hometown is Blossomborough, and no, maybe it's down here. No, Blossomborough is where she ended up going after her nomadic centaur family was killed when these mountains were raised to end the war between Borea and Freya. So maybe we'll have a retake of that event, of that memory. So for Lisbilda, we'll do the raising of the Borean Mountains. That's not what they're called, was it? Whoops. What are they called? They are called the Honrith Mountains. I'm gonna close this. Of the Honrith Mountains. Can't type. Lisbilda, what else do we have? We have Ori, and we have Cass. And then Ori. So, I think for Cass, we should focus on his family for this nightmare. Because for the... Sorry, we should focus on his lover who died for this nightmare. Because the memory or the, like, traumatizing event that is going to happen later on in the maze that we've made, is going to be more focused around his family and that initial emotional detachment from the world as everybody he knew and loved rejected him. So let's do I think his name was Ellis. Doesn't sound right. Old backstory doc. Cast backstory. Identifiable information. Okay, Alistair, Sybil, Roland, Alma. Ellis was his lover. So we're gonna make him the focal point of his nightmare. And then Ori, we have many things to work with. We have many things to work with. Okay. I'm so tired and I'm sick of it. She has her mother, her two mothers actually, which is going to be fun. We could make her mother's the focal point of it. She basically got kidnapped by her nanny at some point, and then her mothers are the leaders of the cult that she was part of and ran away from. They're not leaders. Sorry. They're just highly regarded. Was looked after by Corvino, and others had to do tasks. Oriana was taken by the nanny to the Underdark, where Ori got kidnapped. Oriana felt the world was a very dangerous and unkind place after that trip. Maybe we do the kidnapping. Because her mothers are going to come up more later in the story. So I think that we do a scene from the kidnapping. Bars! Okay. Okay. So we're going to be dramatic with this because that's how I write. I want it to focus on the feelings of the characters. I want them to be verbally terrified by their characters' past events. Except for the fact that Ayla's is going to have to do with an event that hasn't happened. So Rian getting hurt or Rian getting killed or something like that. Everyone else's is gonna be past stuff. So let's do... I kind of want to do Lysbilda first because the imagery of the Hondreth Mountains being raised. So basically the druids, the Yvarn druids, which are like these druid clans that protect the prime material from the elemental portals that are just kind of all over the place. Not all over the place, but there's 4 different portals for the 4 different elements of the 4 different elemental planes. So they've built their communities around those portals, and they're trying to protect the rest of the world from them and protect the portals from people going into them. So the Yvarn druids basically saw the battle between Freya and Broria getting worse, looking like it was never gonna end. It was just bloodshed. It was very, very much a war of hubris, a war of ego. It wasn't for the benefit of anyone. It was for land. It was for resources that frankly didn't matter. And it was a pointless war. So the Yvarn druids were like, all right, you guys stop fucking around or we're gonna make you stop. And what happened was small families and groups that would not have heard the warning of get away from where the Hondreth Mountains are now, get away from the border of these 2 countries. What happened was a lot of those innocent people ended up dying because they didn't get the memo. So in Lysbilda's case, her nomadic tribe of, her nomadic herd, I should say, of elf deer centaur. They were in the middle of the Hondreth Mountains when they were raised. And Lysbilda was, by chance, going to check something out during the time when the mountains were raised. So, Lysbilda survived, and her entire family, her entire extended family, her entire community was completely obliterated by the Hondreth Mountains. There are blood in those mountains. There is blood in those mountains. I kind of want to end it with something like that. Something not profound isn't the right word, but something that's a little bit more like giving her a emotional connection that I have crafted into the past events. Because I want to give Lysbilda's PC player character, I want to give her player something more to connect to, because she's just very much a go with the flow type person, which is awesome, but it's hard when you're trying to do backstory stuff. So let's do Lysbilda. Where is she? She's checking out something. Let's see. Blossomborough has a pathway here, which means that she would have had to be further away. Hillside was made after the mountains were raised, because it was basically destroyed there. I think that we had her somewhere around here. She had to have been near Blossomborough, or she probably wouldn't have ended up there. Okay, so we'll say that her herd was somewhere around here, and she ended up going to see what was up in Blossomborough, and that's why she wasn't there. Actually, did I say that Blossomborough got destroyed? I can't remember. Did I not do a description for Blossomborough? What? I had to have. There's no way I didn't. Area. Country histories. I think this is Latour. Broria. And then the families of the Brorian Empire. Blossomborough are the Fleecy. Technically the youngest, it was destroyed and a large portion of its more stubborn members killed during the empirical world after the Ignatia raised the Honrith Mountains. Okay. Okay, they give their symbols to those who are not elves, which would include... So she did go to Blossomborough eventually, but she wasn't there during the raising of the mountains. So her herd is probably somewhere in this region, and then she is probably somewhere over here. Oh, you know what would be cool? I would have to talk to her about this, but I think because she has a connection with an archfey that is like her buddy, you know? And I like the idea of the archfey having given her like will-o'-the-wisps or something to follow. I'm gonna message her, and then if she disagrees, I'm gonna cry. That's not true. But if she disagrees, then it'll be fine. Okay. Hey Alex, I want to do some stuff having to do with your backstory. Can I take a few liberties with your origin in regards to the raising of the Honrith? Yeah, the Honrith mountains, and how you got your connection with... What is his name? Did we ever name him? Wars. Dues of the Brorian Empire. Yeah, with your archfey Also, did we name him? I can't remember. Perfect. Fantastic work, everybody. Great job. Okay, I'm gonna start writing hers because I don't think she'll say no. She's pretty laid back that way. So Lisbilda. Your herd is taking an afternoon nap under the cool shade of the trees near Blossom Burrow. Your herd is taking an afternoon nap under the cool shade of the trees near Blossom Burrow. What's the? I need descriptors. I need good descriptors. Descriptors for magical sounds. I'm feeling like, let's do it for will-o'-the-wisp sounds. The wisp sounds. A faint, ethereal, elusive, shimmering, ghostly, wavering, soft, intermittent, sighing, bubbling, slightly melancholic. I like the sighing. An ethereal sighing, maybe? It's way into you perk up, looking around at the herd to find where the sound came from. Taking an afternoon under the cool shade of the trees near Blossom Burrow, an ethereal sighing makes its way into your ears. You perk up, looking around at the herd to find where the same sound came from. In the tree line, you see a blue, ghostly bulb? Is that the right word? I feel like bulb is a good word. Bulb is a good word, I think. Ethereal sighing makes its way into your ears. You perk up, looking around at the to find where the sound came from. In the tree line, you see a blue, ghostly bulb floating a few inches off the mossy forest floor. I forgot the word for forest. God, my brain's brokey. The tree line, you see a blue, ghostly bulb floating inches off the mossy forest floor. Clear. Okay. So at this point, she would have been not quite a foal, but she would not have been a full-ass adult. So. You can still feel the sleep in your veins. Your nerves not quite. Let's do your muscles. Not quite woken up. As you slowly approach the wisp. We'll call it a wisp. We'll call it a wisp. They already know what it is. They know what it is, right? You can still feel the sleep in your veins. Your muscles not quite woken up as you slowly approach the wisp. You reach out your hand, extending your fingers toward the spectral form. Extending your fingers towards the spectral form. As soon as you come within an inch of it, I feel like calling it a being is wrong, but I also feel like there's no other word. Synonym for being, creature. Joy. No, for big. Ooh, spirit is a good word. Towards the spirit. As soon as you come within an inch of it, the spirit disappears, reappearing a few feet further into the forest, into the trees. Okay. You take one final look back at the herd. Take a look back at the herd. Look toward the wisp. I want her to think something along the lines of, I'll be back, but like a little bit more extensive. I'll be back before they wake. They won't even notice I'm gone. Like, they won't even notice I'm gone. It's a little bit foreboding. I'm gone, you thought. With a final glance at your family, your community, you followed the wisp. The same pattern repeated itself, almost mesmerizing in its consistency. That's not the right word. Almost mesmerizing in its consistency to pop back up at the same distance. Oh, you know what I could do? She had a dream. Meadow with willow trees familiar to her. Yeah. This is perfect. This is gonna be great. Same distance. I think, oh, this is gonna be so fun because it'll give the players a realization of what the characters have gone through without being able to act on it necessarily in character. But like, we have this issue with Cass where, like, he's obviously is fucked up, bro. He's obviously got issues and nobody wants to address it. Nobody knows how. Nobody's trying to. And it's partially because they aren't asking questions to each other. So I'm hoping that this will get them to ask questions to each other about their backstories. So they won't even notice I'm gone, you thought. With a final glance at your family, your community, you followed the wisp. The same pattern repeated itself, almost mesmerizing in its consistency to pop back up at the same distance. You giggled. You giggled. chasing the enchanting being through the forest. Suddenly, the wisp disappeared, and the wisp, disappeared and didn't reappear. Did I spell that right? Yes, I did. Okay. Suddenly, the wisp disappeared, but didn't reappear. Let's do that. Didn't reappear. The raising of the Honrith Mountains, so we're gonna delete that. Lisbilda, your herd is taking an afternoon nap under the cool shade of the trees near Blossom Burrow. An ethereal sighing makes its way into your ears. You perk up, looking around at the herd to find where the sound came from. In the tree line, you see a blue, ghostly bulb floating a few inches off the mossy floor. You can still feel the sleep in your veins, your muscles not quite woken up as you slowly approach the wisp. You reach out your hand, extending your fingers towards the spectral form. As soon as you come within an inch of it, the spirit disappears, reappearing a few feet further into the trees. You take a look back at the herd, then look towards the wisp. They won't even notice I'm gone, you thought. With a final glance at your family, your community, you followed the wisp. The same pattern repeated itself, almost mesmerizing in its consistency to pop back up at the same distance. You giggled, chasing the enchanting being through the forest. Suddenly, the wisp disappeared, but didn't reappear. Found yourself in a meadow full of a meadow with willow trees. Trees surrounding it. In a meadow clearing with willow trees surrounding it. Fireflies danced in the, what's the word? Dim clearing. Okay, we get rid of clearing. We put it here. You held out your hand. The small creatures landing on your fingers. You laughed. Not having you laughed as you had never had this happen before. How did I describe a familiar figure, dark-skinned man, golden hair tied back in a braid, green robes with golden detailing? Okay. You held out your hand, the small creature is landing on your fingers. Out of the corner of your eye, you saw a flash of gold braids. Suddenly, you felt the ground shake beneath your hooves. You spun around. I don't know how I want to phrase this because I want her to turn and see the mountains being raised in the distance. But I also want her to notice that the clearing she saw is not real. So I don't know if I want her to notice that before or after the mountains. So what I think I want to have happen, feel the ground shake beneath your hooves, the fireflies take off, rapidly disappearing into the canopy. Belt. Found. Your herd is. Oh, I need to choose what tense I'm doing this in. This is what you've heard of. You reach out your hand, take a look. You think. Final glance at your follow the wisp. The same pattern repeats itself, almost to pop back up at the same distance. You giggle, chasing the enchanting being through the forest. Suddenly the wisp disappears, but doesn't reappear. You find yourself in a meadow with willow trees surrounding it. Fireflies. You find in a meadow with willow trees surrounding it. Fireflies dance in the dim clearing. You hold out your hand, the small creatures landing on your fingers. You laugh, as you had never had this happen before. Never had this happen before. Out of the corner, you see a flash of gold rays. Suddenly, you feel the ground shake beneath your hooves. The fireflies take off, rapidly disappearing into the canopy. You spin around, your eyes widening in horror as you see the peaks of mountains raising against the sky. See the peaks of mountains raising against the sky. Your eye line travels down the direction you came from. Rising against the sky, raising against the sky. No, because they're being raised. So, raising against the sky. Your eye line travels down the direction you came from. In horror, you gallop back to where your herd. I can't spell. Had been resting. Suddenly, you come upon the mountainside. Suddenly, you come upon the mountainside. So she runs. It is so much closer than it should be. She still has a ways to go from where she came. So suddenly you come upon the mountainside, far closer to where you had gone. Exit out of this. Yeah, there we go. Really. Thank you. Oliver got back to me, but Alex did not. Okay. Far closer to where you had gone than where your herd was supposed. Your herd is supposed to be. Let's do an alarm, and then we'll do. You look up at the ascending. Geography, is that the right word? Geography. in horror. Blood in those mountains. I like it. I like it! Okay, bars. 1 down. Let's go. I'm tired. Let's look at Cass's backstory. Area groups. Oh, let's just go over here to call group. PC stuff. Oliver does not have his shit. Okay, I need to go. Nope. To go here to Oliver, to his backstory. Bring that shit out here. Okay, Rogue introduced himself as Ellis. Said they were even now. Out of trouble. Ellis kept going around to the docks, at first just to steal, but eventually began to stop by just to talk to Cass. Cute! They eventually formed a friendship. Pair spent a few years bouncing around Dakar. One night during the travels, Cass was heading to his meetup spot. Caught off guard. Cute. What if? Okay. So, in this scene right here, we have Cass and Ellis in the scene. Ellis is there to help him after he transforms, and Ellis does not speak a word about it. He doesn't judge him for it. He doesn't get freaked out by it. And what if we gave him a nightmare where, oh god, Steam's awake. Steam's awake, so I'm awake. Offline. There we go. What if we had his nightmare be that Ellis actually... This is so bad. This is so mean. I don't want Ellis to be mean to him in his dream, but I kind of want to. Okay. Ellis is like, I can't believe you didn't tell me this. I can't believe you kept this secret. You're dangerous. I could never love you? That would be devastating. That would be devastating. Oliver, can I traumatize you? Oliver. Traumatize Cass. Please and thank you. I need your permission. Cause I feel like what I wanna plan is fucked up, LMAO. I hope he gets back to me soon, TM. Okay. Okay, we'll do his last, because I'm not positive Oliver would be. I think Oliver's gonna be okay with it, but I'm not positive. So, Ori's kidnapping. Let's take a look at her stuff. Oriana was kidnapped. Traumatizing event, or we could do like her greatest fear would probably be being stuck in that world, not knowing anything. Let's see. Give task island. Add free time. This is so cute. They lied to their mother and said they made a pact for more powerful with an infernal being. What if we made theirs a I kind of want them to be scared that the being they're connected to, which I think will also drive their backstory, be instead of the kidnapping, we do the being they're connected to is like a horrible, horrible creature. Like something along the lines of signing this pact made you unable. Sorry, I saw the message of can I traumatize cats? Something along the lines of I want you to take over this cult. I want you to be the worst of the worst. That kind of thing. And then Rian is killed or harmed. I like it. Okay. I know that we haven't been here for very long and we've only done 1 out of 4, but I'm tired and my voice is starting to hurt a little bit. So I'm gonna stop. And then what will probably end up happening is I'm sinking to the floor. Oh my god. What will probably end up happening is I will either I'll probably finish these off stream, because now that I have an idea, I can just get my brain going, so I don't have to stream it. And then what I might end up doing is hopping back on in the next couple of days to do Cass's story planning, which I'm looking forward to. And then we need to plan traps. We need to do a trap episode for the second part of the maze that we made. So we need, what they really want are puzzles that are traps. So we're gonna basically be making more puzzles. Mostly ones that they'll have to get out of. They're probably not gonna be super defined, but there are going to be a number of them. So yeah, that's what we'll probably do next time. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye.